Let's look at the square root method for solving a quadratic. Some things to remember: the square root method is really useful or efficient when I have parentheses squared equals a number, or just straight up x squared equals a number. That's when we want to use the square root method. So when I look at my example over here, I see I have parentheses squared, but I have some extra stuff. But I still want to use the square root method. Step one is dealing with all that extra stuff. I want to make sure I can get it into parentheses squared by itself equaling a number. So I need to undo -7 and undo 4 times. We can do that using some algebra skills. First, we get rid of the subtraction by adding 7 to both sides. 25 plus 7 is 32. Now I almost have x minus 2 squared by itself. I just need to undo multiplication by 4 using division. 4 divided by 4 cancels to 1. X minus 2 squared equals 32 divided by 8. 32 divided by 4 equals 8. There we go. So now it is in that format, parentheses squared equals a number. So now I can actually use the namesake square root on both sides. If I take the square root of both sides, you can kind of think of it as the square root canceling that exponent of 2. But be careful when you take the square root of that number 8, don't forget the plus or minus symbol. Why do we use the plus or minus symbol? Because there's 2 possible answers: the positive square root or the negative square root, which makes sense. If you look at a parabola, it normally has 2 x-intercepts. So we have 2 possibilities here because we have 2 answers. So step 3 is to solve both equations for x. Both equations because we're going to split this into 2 different equations. The first time using the positive square root, and the second time using the negative square root. The positive square root will be x minus 2 equals the positive square root of 8, and the negative square root will be x minus 2 equals the negative square root of 8. Solve them both for x by adding 2 to both sides. And I'm left with x equals 2 plus the square root of 8. X equals 2 minus the square root of 8. And the square root of 8 is something that can be simplified because the square root of 8 is equal to the square root of 2 times the square root of 4. And I know the square root of 4 is 2. So that simplifies into 2 square root of 2. And those are my 2 solutions, or x-intercepts.